Hi everyone, I'm Jenny with NFM, and I am here with local chef Sam Laughlin, who is going to teach us how to make Carne Asada tacos. Sam is a chef at local restaurant Au Courant here in Omaha. He also manages his own pop-up restaurant, The Tiny Project, where he goes around and does little pop-ups. So he's going to teach us how to make tacos today, and I am going to turn it over to him.
Hi, my name is Sam, and yes, I'm a local chef here in Omaha, Nebraska, and we are going to teach you how to make some carne asada tacos. Here at the restaurants in Omaha, we like to crack open a Topo Chico when we're doing service or any kind of kitchen activities. So pop open a Topo Chico and let's make some tacos. So today we're going to start off with our marinade for the skirt steak. Here we have our nice cut of skirt steak. We're going to place that into the bowl as so. We are going to cut open some limes, some oranges, and some lemons.
Do we have to use fresh citrus, or if somebody doesn't have fresh citrus at home, can they use like bottled orange juice or bottled lime juice?
So fresh citrus for me is a little bit better, but you can use bottled citrus at any point. There's no real, it doesn't really matter in a sense.
Okay.
You can kind of just wing it if that's the only way citrus that you can get.
Cool.
You can go ahead and use that as well.
That makes it very easy. If you don't have the fresh citrus on hand, you can use bottled, no big deal. Get out of your way.
But yep, we're just going to squeeze a couple of citrus limes in there. Get a
If
couple
you have a
more.
juicer at home, you could use a juicer too, but
That would make it 10 times easier, I tell you. But yep, just squeezing it by hand is just fine. I think we're going to go with that many limes.
and everybody who picked up a cooking class kit, which ours in Omaha looks something like this, you'll have the recipe cards in here for the marinade that he's making. So right on here, we're just starting with this carne asada marinade. We have the exact portions of everything on the card listed out. Sam does this every day, 10 times a day. So he's just going by his measurements, but it is exactly what's on your card on here. So
What's funny is in the restaurant, we call doing like being prepared and being set up and measurements already kind of measured out. We call that mise en place for our kitchen staff. And that's just means to kind of be prepared and be ready to go at any time, any moment, and everything's right in front of you.
what does the word mise en place mean?
Mise en place means everything in its place. So when we are ready to rock, we are ready to go. There's no, searching for something or I can't find something. We are ready to go for service, and we shouldn't really have to move off of our station.
That makes sense, especially in a busy restaurant. I'm sure you just have to be ready. You can't be
Yeah, for sure. There's
looking around for things.
Yeah, looking around for anything that kind of cuts into your time and cuts into the table's time on when they should be served and when they get their food.
Makes sense. So you're just mixing all of those juices right on top of the meat.
Yep. So one more last orange, and then we're going to run into some garlic really quickly. If you would pass me the garlic from over there.
So we just have some garlic cloves split up.
You can get them pre-peeled or you can get them in the clove form. This just has like a little wrapper on it. We'll get that taken care of really quickly. And for the marinade, there's no specific, you don't need to chop it up. You don't need to do anything extra. You can kind of just break it as so, or throw it across the kitchen. But just break it up as so, peel it, and it should come off nice and easily like so.
Do all the juices make all the garlic taste come out of there, even when it's whole?
Yes. So the citrus will kind of break down. That's what's really nice about using citrus in your marinades is it will kind of break down your protein, make it a little bit more tender. It will break down the other ingredients that you have in there to make it a little bit more palatable and release the flavors inside the meat. So now we are going to use a little bit of soy sauce. As so. And again, you have it kind of pre-measured. And we will just add a little bit, get a nice coating as so.
Does that just put the salty element in there?
The salty element, again, it will break it down, and then it'll also give it a little bit of umami flavor as well. Okay. So it's really nice on the palate, pretty chill, nothing too crazy, just a little bit of extra flavor. It'll give you that kind of zing that you need for your tacos. And then we're going to add a little bit of seasoning as well. Some chili powder. And then we have some cumin.
What if we want this like really spicy? Is there something else that we could add in there?
So right now, currently you can add a little bit more chili powder, or you can add some cayenne pepper,
Okay.
or also some fresh jalapenos would be nice as well.
Ooh, fantastic.
And then we're gonna do a little bit of paprika and some garlic. Just a little bit of added garlic powder will also bring it just a little bit more flavor to the dish as well. Just you never can go wrong with garlic, honestly. I love garlic. Can't go wrong with that at all.
There's never
Some
too much
oregano.
garlic.
And then I also like to put a splash of some olive oil as well. Just to kind of coat the meat. Alrighty, and then we're gonna mix that up. Should look a little something like this.
That smells good already.
Yeah. And then we can put that in the fridge for marinating. And you want it to preferably sit for about 12 to 24 hours on a good day, but you can also get it done fast. Like today, we're going to get it done fast in about 20 minutes or so, 10 to 20 minutes. And it locks in a little bit more flavor than just kind of going right on the grill and searing it. Now we can start into our corn salsa. We have some corn cobs in the fridge. We grab some of those, and then I can start with some peppers as well.
And if you don't have corn cobs at home, you can use just plain canned corn. Isn't that right, Sam?
Yep, you can just use any kind of corn that you would like. You can use cream, you can use corn. If you use a little bit of cream corn, it gives it a creamier texture if you would like. But today we're going to use some fresh sweet corn and take it off the cob. So here we're just taking a couple bell peppers, de-seeding and de-pitting. And then we're going to quarter and kind of dice into a nice palatable size for you to be able to eat. And nothing fancy, nothing too crazy. It doesn't need to look nice. Just kind of get it ready to rock for your mouth. You want to hand me a bowl, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go here. So does it really matter if we want maybe like larger chunks or smaller chunks of the peppers?
Not really. It's not going to change the flavor. It just might change the texture in your mouth, which, again, if you like a little bit bigger chunks, you can use a little bit bigger chunks. If you don't really like the texture or flavor of any of these components, you can make them really small or leave out as well. It's not going to really change the dish as much.
Good to know.
But yeah, we're just going to finish up this bell pepper really quickly.
Is this one of your favorite things to cook?
It is one of my favorite things to cook, not only to cook, but to eat as well. I love tacos. You can't go wrong with tacos.
I agree with that.
It's a great addition. You can kind of change it up. You can do any kind of protein, any kind of topping, spicy, not spicy. It's just the perfect food. And it's kind of quick to prepare as well. So here we are going to put the bell peppers into our dish.
So we did do this cooking class as a bring your own protein type to where it would be friendly for vegan or vegetarian. What are some of the alternatives to the steak that you would recommend for somebody who maybe doesn't eat red meat or a vegetarian?
So I would say you could do tofu, you could do jackfruit would be a great option. Or honestly, a good fashioned veggie taco is amazing too. You can't go wrong with it. And for a veggie taco, I would say even leaving the bell peppers in a nice julienne, that long strip, it kind of gives a texture of meat or some other kind of component as well. Alrighty, so that's done with the peppers. Now we can move on to the corn. Do some corn. And this can get a little messy, so I would, kind of be wary of your space. But we're just going to take a little bit of the corn, come right down the cob. And again, you can get canned corn, you can get cream corn, any kind of corn that you would actually like.
I just love fresh corn.
Fresh corn is amazing. You can't go wrong, especially being here in the Midwest.
Yes, that's the best part.
We get a great variety of corn. I think I'm going to do one more cob.
Perfect. Go.
Alrighty. And you want to be careful if you are going to take it off the cob. You want to be a little bit careful with getting too close to the pith because you can get some of that bitter and kind of hard texture right in here with the corn. Just like that. One more strip and we are good to go. So again, we're going to take this corn, kind of clean up our space just a little bit. Go ahead and pop that in the bowl. Alrighty, and rinse our hands really quickly, really nice. Clean up our station just a little bit, and then we will transfer into making the crema for the dish. And this is something that you kind of want to do ahead of time. I'm going to teach you guys how to make a little bit of a at-home sour cream. This is kind of how we do it in the restaurant. We call it crema, sour cream, kind of basically the same thing. You'd like to grab the buttermilk and the cream for me, please? Alrighty. And then for this dish, we are going to use buttermilk and cream. And you kind of want to use a 4-to-1 ratio for this recipe. And all you are going to do is add your cream to the bowl. And so we have it measured out to 1 quart to 1 cup of buttermilk for this mixture. And you are going to use your buttermilk. So we've added the cream. Now we're adding the buttermilk. And so just add the buttermilk. And what's going to happen is that the culture in the buttermilk is going to mix with the cream and kind of having a fermentation in a way. I need this right here.
Sorry.
Alrighty. And we're just going to mix that up nice and thoroughly. And it's going to create a little fermentation. You're going to set it out on your counter for about 2 to 3 days, and let it the air get to it. If you would like, you can put a little cheesecloth or something to keep the impurities out from floating in, or any dust or anything like that from getting in. And
so it won't go bad if it just sits on the counter?
Nope. For 3 days, you want to kind of keep it, and it'll firm up really nice into a sour cream consistency. So you just kind of set that off to the side. Let that kind of work its magic. And once that is done after 3 days, you kind of want to prepare it a little bit ahead of time. Or again, you can just grab some sour cream from the store if you would like as well. Let's get rid of these.
I can take those.
And then we are going to do a little bit of green onion after that.
Pass these over to you.
This. And get rid of that one.
Yes.
Thank you. Some nice green onions. These you can do again for any kind of size. You can do any length that you would like. I like to do a nice thin. For me, it just has a better texture on the palate. We go all the way down, and we are going to use both the tops and the bottoms to get a nice texture difference. You can get that onion flavor from both. It's a little bit slighter at the top if you don't like onions that much, or you can go all the way down and use the whites as well if you like a strong onion flavor. And that's what we're going to do here. Righty. And in a compost bowl. Bring back our bowl of corn and peppers. Put our green onions in there as well.
It already looks so colorful.
And then it is a nice mixture of red and green and yellows. We can also get a little bit of parsley. I would say to use a little bit of cilantro, but some people, they have a reaction to cilantro that they don't like. But we can use parsley as well as a substitute to kind of bring it a little pop as well. And here I'm just going to rip off a couple of leaves. Just as so. So we're going to now slice, and this again doesn't have to be perfect. You can have bigger leaves, smaller leaves. You don't need to necessarily make it too fancy or anything too crazy. Just a nice rough chop. As so. And here we have a little bit of parsley. Throw that inside. And then what we're going to do next, we're going to do our citrus. So a little bit of lime juice and a little bit of lemon juice will go a long way for this dish. Bring out a brightness in all the other vegetables. Kind of bring out that flavor as we talked about with the acidity of the oranges and, the limes and the lemons.
Right.
All right, just a couple squeezes.
And the same thing works with this. If you don't have fresh, you can just use the little bottles, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Just a couple squirts here and there would not be bad for it at all. Okay. One more little squeeze.
Citrus just makes everything smell so good.
I love the smell of citrus. It is one of my favorites. You can't go wrong in the summertime with a nice lemonade either, or a limeade. You can make a limeade.
That sounds phenomenal. Next time we'll have to do that for sure.
Little squeeze of lime juice in the Topo Chicos as well. You cannot go wrong. Alrighty, and then we're going to go on to our seasoning for this dish. We have a little bit of olive oil, just a drizzle to kind of incorporate everything, give it a nice fresh taste. We're going to go in with a little bit of seasoning here, some salt, and then some black pepper as well. Can you see pepper?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, just a couple knocks of black pepper. Give it a little smokiness, a nice toast flavor. And then we are going to go into our crema. Here I have a little bit of crema pre-made. Should be nice, light, airy. You can add a little bit of lime juice to this as well to give it a different flavor if you would like. We're going to add a little bit of that to this dish.
So once the crema that we made sets up for about 3 days, that's what it'll look like?
Yep, it will be nice,
Wonderful.
creamy consistency. Should be perfect for use. And you can use it day of, after the third day, and put it in the fridge, and it should last a very long time. Crema is a very nice dish that should last you a good amount of time, almost like the normal sour cream that you buy in the store. Here we're going to mix that up. And we're going to give it a taste. You have to taste your food.
All right.
All right.
Oh my gosh. It's super good. It tastes really fresh. You can taste all of the crunchy vegetables in it, which is my favorite part.
Alrighty, and so now after that, our corn salsa is done, and we can move on to the meat. And here we can put this in the fridge for a later day, or for a later time, for when our meat is done and we're ready to build our tacos.
Take that.
Perfect. If you would like to grab that meat out of there as well.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, so first we have a little bit of olive oil.
Ooh.
Make sure your pan is nice and warm. And we are going to make sure we drip off all the excess liquid because we do not want to steam the meat. We want to get a nice sear on it. And again, this is after sitting preferably for 12 to 24 hours. Alrighty, and now that that's nicely drained, we are going to sear it. Get it out of the way. And here we're going to get a nice color on both sides. Here in just a second, we should be ready to go. And this is a perfect time to kind of clean up your station and get ready for the next steps.
This smells so good.
And at this point, you can give it a nice season with a little bit of salt. I'm going to grab a little black pepper. Grab that over there. And now we are going to check for the sear.
Ooh.
And here we have a nice line sear. We're going to flip it on the other side to give it a nice crosshatch.
So if somebody preferred, would they be able to just grill this on their grill outside?
Yes, preferably this would be a better method. You don't get the smoke all in your kitchen and things like that. And it's not as big as a cleanup as you would do it outside as well.
Gotcha. So this is a really good recipe for summertime when you are outside with your family, barbecuing or anything like that. Then you can just pop the meat right on the grill.
Exactly. And tacos are always a good family meal outside. You can kind of use your hands, not too much cleanup, not too many utensils. So right after we get a nice crosshatch on both sides, it should look a little something like this. And we're going to put that back down on the other side. Let it get a nice sear.
Perfect.
On that other side.
And while we're letting this cook, we are going to say a quick thank you to Samsung for sponsoring this class to us.
Thank you, Samsung.
Yes, Samsung is the brand that we carry, obviously, in every different department in our store. And they were kind enough to sponsor this cooking class for us. So we'll have another cooking class coming up around September that we'll start posting updates about. But yeah, thank you to Samsung for letting us do this here in the store today. This looks phenomenal.
I know. This grill is amazing. I know. Let's go ahead and check that other side. We're going to give it just a little bit more time.
Perfect.
And again, we're looking for the crosshatch on both sides. So a nice line on one. Flip it. It's a little bit more for presentation if you would like. You don't necessarily need it. You can just have a flat sear if you would like that as well. So if you're doing it inside, you can do a pan and just pan sear it. Flip it on both sides. Make sure it's done all the way through. And you should be good to go. We're going to give it a nice turn. And let it go for about another, I would say, 2 minutes. You're looking for about 4 minutes on each flip. And yeah, once it's done, we're going to let it rest for about 10 minutes, roughly 5-10 minutes to kind of let the juices soak into the meat. And so you don't get a lot of mess and all your juice goes all over the plate because you want that inside your meat.
Fantastic.
All that flavor you just incorporated with the marinade is going to soak in and be juicy and nice. You're not going to get a nice dry piece of meat.
If somebody was doing something like jackfruit or tofu, would you still recommend grilling it, or would you do something maybe like a pan sear? What would you recommend?
For jackfruit, if you get nice whole pieces, you can do a grill. It wouldn't be bad at all. But if you get the kind of like canned jackfruit, you would want to maybe cook it down into more of a sauce and maybe braise it a little bit just to kind of tenderize the jackfruit. And then that way you can get a nice taco out of that as well. But for tofu, if you get a nice firm tofu and you can press all the liquid out of it, you can grill it just like this and it would be just as good. And you can even marinate tofu it the same way, as well as the jackfruit.
That's
Go ahead and give that a check. Alrighty, so we're going to set that off to the side and let it kind of do its thing. Here we are going to give the pan or the grill a nice wipe down for the taco, for the corn salsa, or sorry, not corn salsa, for the corn tortillas. Get a nice dry surface. Alrighty, and as we wait for the steak to kind of rest, we're going to grab a few of these shells. Give it a nice cook down on the surface.
If somebody wanted to use flour tortillas, could they grill them the same way?
Oh, yes, perfectly. They can do it just like this, or they can also throw them both in the oven as well.
Gotcha.
Here, I'm going to turn down that heat just a little bit. Alrighty. We're going to give those a few minutes on each side to just kind of warm up and cook that corn nice and through.
Oh, that meat smells so good.
It is amazing. Skirt steak is a perfect steak for tacos. I love it. It's nice, tender. It's already kind of layered for you to slice and dice for your tacos. If we'd like to grab that corn salsa out of there, we can grab absolutely. That. Always remember to clean up as you go. It's a little bit less hassle when you're done. Grab that, get that ready to go.
Get some plates too for our tacos.
Yes. So if you see right here, you have a little bit of leakage here. And that's kind of what I was talking about, of letting it rest and letting it kind of come together. Because if you were to cut it right now, a lot more juice would come out. But if you let it rest for a good amount of time, it will cool your meat down so it's not piping hot. And also it allows that juice to absorb into the meat. So when you do slice, it will be a better cut.
All right.
Here we're going to flip our corn tortillas. Maybe get a nice color on those. She's going to turn down just a little bit more.
This looks great. I'm so excited to try.
I cannot wait to eat. It's going to be so good. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Topo Chicos at home.
Yes.
That's a great thing for us at the restaurant. We get when we want something light and refreshing to kind of keep us going other than water. We love Topo Chicos. We can get it in different flavors as well. It's amazing. Or any kind of seltzer drink is to kind of keep us light and bubbly as we go.
Yeah. And anybody cooking at home can use it as a mocktail or a cocktail. Kind of enjoy yourself while you're doing some grilling, especially if you're outside. Yeah, make a nice little drink for yourself.
So now that we got our tortillas nice and warm, we can layer them up, kind of set them off to the side on the plate. Kind of let those, I would stack them to kind of keep them warm. And that way you can keep them nice and fresh and hot for when you go to make your tacos. I'm going to grab a couple more. And as these are going, we can get ready to make our tacos. Alrighty. And always you can double up on tortilla shells if you would like. Set that right here. Perfect. You can double them up or keep them single if you would prefer that as well. I like a good double taco. It gives me a little bit more corn flavor, and it holds my taco a little bit better and all the ingredients inside. So just a few more seconds on this meat as well, and we'll be able to cut right into it.
Perfect. Would you recommend doing small slices of the meat or kind of chunky or thick slices?
I would say do a little bit smaller size, just to kind of tenderize the meat. It'll cut into the fibers a little bit more, so it'll be an easier chew on the bite.
Awesome. That sounds great. I'm excited to cut into this.
I know, I can't wait. As soon as these tortillas are done, we can get to eating. I'm excited for you to try these tacos today. And especially you guys at home. I hope you guys enjoy the tacos and this recipe. Just a few more seconds and we are ready to rock.
And you should have some chips and some little snacks in your bags that you took home, so you can kind of munch on some things as you're watching.
Ooh, some nice chips and salsa is always a good substitute while you're working, because I don't know how anybody does it. I like to eat while I go. I can't look at this beautiful food and not want to eat something.
That's the best part, is the eating.
Exactly. And as a cook, you got to eat as you go. I mean, as you are working on the food, that's your kind of benefit of being able to cook all the food for everyone. You get to kind of snack as you go.
Yeah.
So just a few more seconds and we are ready to rock.
Fantastic.
I cannot wait.
This has been super fun.
Yes, I know.
Thank you for joining us today, Sam.
know. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it so much. This has been an experience for me, and I hope an experience for you guys.
Yeah. And like I said, we have some other cooking classes coming up in September, and I believe we have some in November as well around the Thanksgiving time. So keep an eye out for the next time that we post about that, and we'll make a few different things in the kitchen.
So this side, I'm going to do some double tacos, and this side, we are going to do some single tacos.
All right.
All righty. So for our meat, we are ready to slice. Again, the meat still might be a little bit hot, so we want to be a little bit cautious for when we do that. Let's go ahead and turn these ovens off. Alrighty, so we're gonna just slice. And for the skirt steak, you kind of want to give it a little bit of a cross hatch on the fibers, just so you don't, it will be a little bit more tender for when you go to eat it as well. So right here, we have our fibers running this way. You want to cut it on the opposite and kind of give it a little bit of a cut. And I like my meat a little bit on the medium rare, medium side for tacos. I know some people like a well done steak, and that is completely fine as well. But here we're just going to slice in. And you can see now that we've rested it, kind of doesn't have all that pooling of liquid as much. It's still going to have a little bit of liquid. It is meat. I'm just going to finish slicing this down.
Oh, wow. Those are super thin strips. That looks great.
Thank you. And then one more slice, and we should be done and ready to rock with our tacos. Alrighty, I'm going to cut it down the middle too, just to kind of give us a little bit smaller pieces. Alrighty, and we are ready to build our tacos.
Right.
Let me grab a spoon for the salsa. Alrighty, and here we go to build some tacos. So we have our corn tortillas. We're going to grab a little bit of meat for each taco. As so, we're going to add a little bit of our salsa as well.
Ooh. That looks fantastic. All those colors, they look so nice.
Perfect for the summertime. All this fresh vegetables, all this beautiful corn. So here's that first set of tacos. Again, that's with the double corn tortillas. And then this one is going to be our single corn tortillas. You don't want to stuff these ones too much just because the single tortilla is not going to hold as well. And then again with the salsa.
Oh my gosh, these look great. I'm so excited.
I know, I can't wait. So then we're going to clean up just a little bit. I'm going to cut open some lime so we have a little bit of lime juice to freshly squeeze over the top.
Good call. You want a lime?
Thank you so much. Slice, and you can go into fours so you got nice little wedges. Alrighty. Just like that, we have some wedges and limes.
This looks fantastic.
And again, here are those tacos for you to enjoy.
All right. Should we try them?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's try them.
I'm going to go for a double taco.
All right. I think I might do just the same.
Oh, here.
I'm going to squeeze some lime on there.
Oh, there you go. I forgot.
That's the best part, right?
Yes. You can't go wrong with lime juice.
All right.
My favorite.
I'm going to move this over. I know I'm going to get messy. So, okay.
Are
Cheers.
you ready?
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you. Cheers to you guys.
Oh my goodness.
Delicious taco. You can't go wrong with that taco.
These are fantastic.
And again, you can use any different kind of protein. You don't have to use beef. You can try some other proteins. Tofu's a good one. Chicken. Those are good.
These are great.
So much.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for
experience.
watching. We hope you enjoy the tacos.
Thank you.